An American airline passenger, Augustin, was seen on video yelling and swinging his arms while passengers tried to restrain him. Augustin believed that evil spirits were following him, which started his loud outbursts. And while he was restrained on the floor, Augustin swallowed a rosary as his sister, who was also on board with him, began to sing and chant and do hymns, according to a passenger who saw the whole thing. They are possessed. The witnesses told the outlet. That's what he was saying. They're possessed. One witness said that it was a disturbing scene. People on that plane were, they were freaking out and they had no idea what was going on. But the witness said that he kept yelling about demons, and then that he was talking about devils in possession. And then he began to kick a flight attendant who went to check on him. And he kicked this flight attendant so hard in the chest that this person flew across the aisle of the plane and hit and crashed into a window, which is what witnesses were saying who was there. That man had a spiritual awakening on that plane. Now, I can't say much about, about him or his sis. I don't know their background. I don't know their history. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the stories that come out, it doesn't say too much about who they are. But it's very clear that these people are spiritual. They're spiritual people. And as for the rest of that flight and the people in general, when they see stuff like that, it's going to freak them out. And, they're going to view a person like that from the carnal eye and carnal mindset. And they're going to say that this person is either crazy, took some drug, has a mental illness, such and such. They're going to say so much thing, but it's coming from the carnal. And you hear a lot of these comments when it comes to people who have these spiritual awakenings. But in reality, it's more spiritual than physical. But people who aren't spiritual can't receive these truths from God's Spirit. It all sounds foolish to them, and they can't understand it. For only those who are spiritual can understand what the Spirit means. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14 through 16. It's a real thing. It's not fake. It's real. It's real. All those movies that I have named and all these movies that, that they put the truth in your face. And you see these movies now with AI and all this stuff. It's not fake. Predictive program. It's real. You start to look at things different. It's the truth. Look at Tiffany Gomez, right? That's the same thing with her. And y'all remember her? She was screaming that the person in the back was not a real person. Y'all remember it? That's not real. Y'all saw the video. You can hear her voice. Like, she really freaked out for what she saw, and she saw what she saw. She saw the shapeshift. She saw. She had a spiritual awakening. This is what happens in spiritual awakening. It happens out of nowhere. Spiritual awakening happens out of nowhere, and you don't even know when. And you don't even know if it can happen to you, because it happens to anybody. Any place, anywhere, any time. Doesn't matter. And this is why you start seeing certain stories in people when they start freaking out, going through what they go through. You heard that, bang? Especially when you start having to listen to them when they go through what they're going through, and you just listen to them. That person's not real. Spirits of this... like, you gotta listen to... They not bugging. They not. She had a spiritual awakening. So did this man. So while they were detained, his sisters told authorities that they were traveling to Haiti to flee religious attacks of a spiritual nature. So they were going to Haiti. And, while on that flight, he told his sister to close her eyes and pray because Satan's disciples had followed them. That's what he told his sister while they were on that plane. So that means he started to see what he was seeing. So what was he seeing? Gang stalkers, the monitoring spirits, the shapeshifter from people who started to look at him like, you know what I'm saying? He started to see some stuff. The horn on cue, see? Regardless of the fact, he saw what he saw on that plane. For him to act how he acted. He saw. Felt it and saw it. And they began to pray. But they also said that they were fleeing from religious attacks of a spiritual nature, and they were heading to Haiti. And he was saying that, you know, that these spirits did not want him to make it to Haiti. And there was only 8 passengers aboard the plane at that time of his outburst, and no one got hurt. No one. But he was put in the hospital. The reason why is because he ended up swallowing that rosary. Like he was going, he swallowed the rosary. And, you know, while they were trying to restrain him, he was holding on to his sister so tight that even when they boarded, like when they landed, he had to get tased. And they had to cut her hair because he would not let go. He was really screaming in the strength. So he ended up going to the hospital to take the rosary out. And then he was put in jail and got hit with several charges, including misdemeanor, battery, and criminal property damage. So I don't, you know, they didn't say if he got out, but he's not gonna do a lot of time in there. He's gonna get out of there in time. But take this as a warning, a lesson in the story too, that this was a spiritual awakening with this man. And listen, let me tell you something. When somebody tells you that they're under a spiritual attack or they're being attacked spiritually, and they don't just look the other way, like y'all better like believe that, because it's a real thing, man. It's real. It's not fake. So unplug from the matrix. Stay awake. Stay with the Most High. Stay in prayer. Repent. Ask for a hedge of protection. Until the next video.